Okay, let me show you what they call a movable shape. You know how when you're playing like just a regular guitar, whether it's an electric guitar or an acoustic, you will make a certain chord shape. Like let's say you're gonna make a C, shape, an F shape. Where you bar these two here, and then you do an F or a D. Well, you're moving all over the fretboard, right? But that's not what they call a movable shape. A movable shape is one that doesn't change the shape of it, but yet moves up and down the fretboard. Okay? So like if you was to change this is a C shape, okay? So if we were to move this, leave it in this position, like this shape, but change the position, it's not going to sound that good. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here's a C. Now let's move this down 2 frets. 1, 2, and let's play it again. See, it still is cool because it has a good context to it for an off-sounding chord. Let's move it down again. See, it's not. It can work under certain musical conditions, but not exactly something that most people would want to play. Same with an E. If you take an E shape, okay, which is an A minor shape, you just move it over here, or an A minor has an E shape, you're just moving it up and down one string. But if you take an E, you can move it down 2 frets and just then one more. See, and this particular chord here sounds better than this chord, which would always, Okay, so we didn't change the shape of the E. It's still, here, here, and here. We just slid the whole shape down. They call this a movable chord, but you can't move this shape all up and down the fretboard. Well, I guess you could, depending on where you're at. See, it's actually a pretty chord. So I'm taking this E shape, and I'm moving it all the way down here to the what? Let's see, this is, counting the dots, 3, 5, 7. That makes that 8 and 9. So that's a pretty chord. I don't like that one. I like that. I like that. Yeah, see, so that goes well together. Okay, same with a D. If you're doing just a regular D, right? You're doing this, you're not doing a D sus2, which is a 2-note D, or a D sus4, which you put your pinky down. See it? As opposed to, if you take this off, it's a little bit. And I think that would be like in a Carly Simon song, like. Like From Anticipation. But if you're doing a D shape, that's how I'm making this particular sound here. I'm taking a D shape, sliding it all the way down here to the 9th fret. So instead of being on the 2nd fret here, I'm on my first 2 fingers being on the 2nd fret and my little ring finger being on the 3rd fret. I'm sliding this down to the 9 and 10. See? Same shape, I'm just sliding it up 2 frets. That's what they call a movable shape. Okay, and it's cool to play around with it. Like an A, here's an E shape or an A minor. Let's see what happens if we slide it down. And not too hot. So yeah, so that's what they mean by a movable shape. Okay, it just simply means that you keep the shape, and that's why a bar chord, if you're making a bar chord shape here, okay, you keep the same shape. You're pressing all the strings down here. You're pressing this one and these two. So you shift it up. This is the G. Down to that's like an E. Or you can take the entire bar shape, which is here, which is an E, I'm just using, instead of doing it like this, I'm putting this finger here and keeping the bar shape. And the Ventures use that a lot. I think they go, let's see if they start in an A. Let's see here. And I believe that one is, C. Okay, so yeah, that's all a movable shape is. So now if you're looking at a bar, I mean not a bar chord, but a pentatonic scale, you know, like for example, like this is okay, this is like an E string. So this is an F and this is a G. If this is an A, okay, this is an A string, this is B and C. So if you were going to play like, here's B, I mean this is a C, C, the D string is open, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, so it's C, D, E, F, G is open G, A, open B. Okay, so that would be a scale. They call that a chromatic scale. But you have so many other scales depending on what your first note you're playing. So if you were to start out in a C, you would have different notes, you know, that you would play up the scale that would be in that particular note's scale or that chord scale, as opposed to if you would start in an F. But when you're doing a pentatonic, it drops some of the notes that kind of get, you know, it drops 2 of the notes out of the 7, so it only goes with 5. So it's basically a movable scale, meaning that the scale stays the same. See, I'm skipping 2. This is a G note, so that's the root of the pentatonic. So it's a G pentatonic. Okay, if you went to an A, it's the same shape. 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4. See, so, and that's why they call it a movable scale. It's not just a movable chord shape, it's a movable scale, because as you go up the fretboard, the actual positions in between stay the same. Root note, which this is a G, A, B. This would be a B note. So you're skipping 2 1 2 here. So you skip 2 frets, 1 2 frets. Then you skip 1 fret right here, 1 fret, which you skip that one. Skip that fret, and then you're going to skip 2 frets. 1 2 1 1 2. And some people do, like, they'll learn like little things to do, like and that's just walking up and down the scale. Okay, so that's what they mean by a movable scale. So when I was playing that G chord, you can, I was playing up here because this was a G note, because like the way I was showing you was on the 12th fret, whatever the string is, open string, that's what the note is. So if this is if this string right here is an E, then this is also an E. So in a sense, it's E, A, D, G, B, E. So that means I'm fretting a G note. And then if this is a G, that's G sharp, and that makes this an A. That's why on that video I made for you, I was saying this is a G, and that makes this an A. Because on the 12th fret, whatever the open string is, that's what it is when you fret it. Because from here, when you fret it, it's the same up. G, A, B, high E, which would be like way up here. Okay? Alright, see what you think about that, and I hope that helps with like a movable scale. Your pentatonic scales are movable. The shape doesn't change. There's 5 different shapes. This is the most common one. Let's see if I can get here where you can see it. And you can, and And sometimes you can play notes that are not the 1/4. You can add them, which what it does, it becomes a blues scale. It becomes a blues pentatonic. And each pentatonic is different. Some of them sound better as a bluesy scale. Some match better as just a regular old minor pentatonic scale like this. But it works great with country. Man, I mean, we like, you can pick out a song from like Shania Twain, and usually it's somewhere around up in this range here, from the 9th fret up to about the 15th. You can just start. You can just go up and find a note that matches. And since this is a 1/4, this string, which is the 1/4 one, then you know that if that matches, it's almost guaranteed that that note there is going to match, and you're in the scale area. Okay, so let me know what you think and see if that helps.